we had the big old Disney investors call, which always there's little bits and pieces of stuff that happens here. And the biggest thing I would say to come out of it that we're kind of going to, be worth talking about is Bob Iger once again he literally dismisses internet rumors and says, look, Deadpool, rated R, don't worry about it. We're looking at other rated R properties. And on top of that, he goes on and stresses the importance of Star Wars multiple times, talking about the official profits to investors. So it honestly was a pretty interesting thing that he has to come out there and actually mention what the internet is saying and be like, look, they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, you can hear it in his voice. He's like, I said this like 6 months ago, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's like, look, it's staying R. We said it's going to stay R. Don't worry. We brought these things for a reason. We're not going to change them.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like this weird scenario we're in now with the whole Disney situation where there's so many rumors out there and everybody's taking everything negative as fact, but everything factually positive is a lie. What kind of studio has to come out and tell investors that all the lies they're hearing are wrong?
The biggest one, clearly.
Well, people want to be right for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I was looking or watching. I was surprised that YouTube had some of the investor calls and other people giving their opinions where Disney as a whole and their investors are trying to get more back from their streaming services. For one reason is that they did make some profit, but they didn't make the multiples that they were promised in the first place.
Yep.
And it's really interesting that they're trying to double down because originally, right now, Disney Plus service is the be all end all because of all their back catalog of what they can do currently and what they can do in the future with their R-rated properties and anything else that they have. Right. And I don't know why people were just saying they're just gonna toss that stuff in the trash and keep going with whatever they're gonna do.
I think I don't know, people just want to kind of go out there and pretend that the rumor thing, it's like, oh, Disney clearly has never produced rated R movies, where that's literally factually the wrongest thing you could say about them, considering they've had somebody genre-defining rated R films, which is first and foremost that. But then I like how, specifically when you had to mention Captain Marvel, he had to stress that they're going to take a $150 million hit because they're not selling the license to streaming services. And it's he had to hammer that in multiple times, being look, we know what the reports are going to say, but you have to understand we're taking a different approach due to Disney Plus. It was a really eye-opening sort of investors call to tune into. It was completely different than the last couple, so...
And the fact, though, that they're going to have to stress it now and then turn around and re-stress it again. And then you're going to have to do a video and being like, guys, just listen to him the first time.
We're going to all have to come back here in 9 months on the podcast and be like, because, the articles are going to run, Captain Marvel, destroys Disney's profits year over year, but they're not understanding it's an investment for the future. Because everybody's going to ignore that fact, right? So...
Yeah. Well, it's like people ignoring the whole, just to quickly shift to something else, like the Taika Waititi and Guardians thing. It's like, he didn't want to do it because nerds. It's like, that's not what he says. He says something completely different, but people just like to make stuff up and have their own agenda and their own narrative, I suppose. But,
yeah. On top of that, with them going, rated R more into it and doing Deadpool, what else do you think they can offer? Because they clearly said the Fox output is going to remain. They stressed FX is staying around and anything on FX is going to their Hulu brand. They're definitely looking to diversify. So what do you think they do with FX and other rated R properties?
Moon Knight. They give us Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Finally.
I reckon the whole Moon Knight, Midnight Suns thing, that's probably going to be Hulu or FX. It depends, Alien. No, they didn't mention Alien specifically, but Alien and Predator are huge R-rated Fox properties, so...
I can't wait for them to hopefully scrap everything that they've done already, because they have killed both those franchises. Give it a few years, reboot them both, and kind of make them separate entities instead of continuously trying to make them one entity again.
I think what they could do with Alien and specifically Predator, right? Yeah, do it properly where you build up a good... You make a good movie. I know this is kind of hard to fathom, but you go out and you make a good movie, and then you put the little tiniest connection in there that says the other world exists, kind of like Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man 1. And then you continue to make good movies, and then when both brands have significant traction, then you actually do a crossover, because, believe it or not, that's how it works. So,
just do Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5. Just bring that back on the table.
Yep. Yeah.
Ignore Prometheus and Covenant, because just go back to whatever he wanted to do and just do it from that. It'll be fine. Maybe get James Cameron back to produce it or whatever. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could use his name, especially with the Avatar, and he's going to be in the Disney wheelhouse now. So it's like, well, slap his name on there. It'll do good. And I mean, it's Cameron. He carries that kind of nerd
name.
Yeah, like with him. So I don't know. I really want to like have hopes for their rated R properties, and I have no doubt that they're going to use them, because they're not buying all these properties to sit on them, right? Like,
no.
It's not just
I don't understand that thinking either. It's like, why would they?
Mm-hmm.
What a waste of money that is.
What else I want to ask is, during that same investors call, he mentions that they're looking for other properties to buy out. Like, we're talking Star Wars and Ninja Turtle levels.
Yeah, it's just like, what else can they buy? There's not really anything else out there that you... So, like, why would you want to spend money on it? Maybe Sony for a few things, but...
I want to bring this one up, because this is a big one. Years ago, Disney was looking to buy Hasbro. Do you think they pulled that one? Because they would gain, like, Transformers, G.I. Joe... Because that would be pretty ballsy and huge.
I can see them doing it after the dust has settled from acquiring Fox. I can see them moving on and doing that. But if those rumors go out too soon, then what will happen is somebody like Apple will try to come in, because then Apple will be able to be like, hey, we can now get into the toy business as well.
And that's kind of the thing where if you look at toy sales... Star Wars sells ridiculous. So don't all the Marvel toys that are, and Hasbro is a big pie of like the whole toy sales, right? But majority of the licensing actually goes to the toy manufacturer, where a smaller share of the pie goes to the actual people that are licensing it. So Disney only makes like 20 to 30% off each toy sold. So, like, if they were to buy Hasbro, which was once a rumor and could pop back up, I could definitely see them investing in that, because getting 100% of the market share for a Star Wars toy, that seems a little bit better,
I could see them also then kind of resurrecting their own type of Toys R Us, because obviously the Disney stores are all over the place and they bring in a lot of good money. We in Vermont, we actually don't have a Disney store, so...
Just expand the Disney store, really. I mean, it's worldwide, so...
There used to be a lot more around where I live, but there's like... Most of the time, it's either you go to Disneyland to go to a Disney store, or one of the bigger major malls around where I live have like one Disney store.
Right.
Well, I only know of one near me, and it's in London.
Well, it's like they even said they're like, we're looking to expand our entertainment empire. Like Bob Iger said, empire. I was like, oh boy, people are going to misquote this one as the actual evil empire. And I'm like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense though. Like they have to expand.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. So. I'm really kind of confused as to what other possible Star Wars level brands you could buy other than like Transformers or Ninja Turtles. Like that's really.
Well, you can rule out video games. He said was like, he's like, no, we're not doing that thing. We brought a few publishers, we closed a few publishers.
Yeah,
we're just going to license out for that.
Because ever since they opened up Disney Interactive like over 20 years ago, that department has not made much money at all. From like a couple good games, like I think like Toy Story 2 to Split Second, and the only other thing that they had made money on was a game that they don't even make. They just publish it with the Disney Interactive logo on it. That's been like defunct since about 2016 to 17.
Are you telling me Disney made a bad call by yelling at the Disney Infinity guys to produce 10 million Yondu toys?
Yeah.
Can you tell me that was a bad call?
Yeah, that's basically what it was, is that they thought that the toy-to-game market was ripe with cash, and it just drained up after no one bought it after 2 years.
It is ripe with cash, unless you produce 10 million Yondus.
And the thing is, it was before
if they were smart.
Yondu, like, becoming Mary Poppins. Like, if they released it after that movie, he became such a higher popularity. But when they released that, Yondu was just...
It was just bad timing with everything Disney games, I think.
Yeah. See, where's all my Kingdom Hearts stuff, though?
Right.
You know, that game just sold 5 million copies in a week.
That's basically like their only like profit margin is something that Square Enix has, and they barely help out because they just let Square Enix do with whatever they want to do with it, and they just make sure that they cross their T's and dot their I's whenever it comes to Disney stuff.
So here's another one just kind of mentioned. Hasbro Power Rangers. I know they just picked up the license, but could Disney want to get back into that? Because they owned Power Rangers for a while, and it was interesting. Like they produced...
Question mark?
They produced SPD, which I liked SPD. That's one of my favorite series. But other than that, it was kind of...
I think it was like up to SPD to RPM is the Disney era, and no one liked it.
Ooh, RPM was... Yeah.
Well, I wonder if they could sit there now because they understand what the Power Rangers legacy is. Before, when they had it, they just thought they can just go off of the movie hype and create whatever they want and somebody's going to watch it. But now the fact that they are seeing where Power Rangers is going, but they also see how their franchises are currently, they can use all the knowledge that they've gained throughout the years and potentially give us what we actually originally wanted as Power Rangers fans and continue on that way.
Because that was a problem. When Disney had Power Rangers, it wasn't the Disney powerhouse we know today, where they understand what they're getting. So,
but would they want something like Power Rangers again? Because it's not exactly, the movie bombed.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
Transformers.
A cult classic.
It is, but it's just like...
Okay, so...
Does this generation of kids have the market for that?
I mean...
Transformers, Bumblebee hasn't done as well as other movies. I mean, they didn't really market that movie that great. But, are those brands, something Disney would want? Because they're not the biggest things.
I feel they would want the toys more than anything else. Yeah. It's not even that they want to be able to make movies for Transformers or G.I. Joe. What they want is to be able to keep all the profits for
and
toys.
Cartoons. Could you imagine if they bought Hasbro or something? It's like, hey, kids, get your parents to buy you Disney Plus because you're going to have a new Power Rangers, new Transformers, new whatever the hell. It's like, oh my God. There's a lot of nostalgia back catalog in there on top of... the modern day iterations they could do. So there's a lot of stuff.
See, chat says Power Rangers merch sells, but where is it compared to other things?
Not as high.
Yes, it can sell, but are they producing as many units of toys and everything compared to other people?
Not that much, because most of the stuff that I've seen, it's mostly collectible level.
You know how Sony goes out and produces the Underworld movies, where we spend $60 million to make one. It makes back $180. We're in $25 million profit. That's how Power Rangers is every year. They know the bottom line. They know what to produce to get the same amount of return, and it just sits there kind of humming in the distance. It's like, well, it is what it is.
But is there any room for growth, and that's why it hasn't they've just always stuck to that bottom line, or is it
It would be.
It's just one of those questions.
It would be smart for them because the primary market that loves Power Rangers is the Asian market.
And if they're trying to, break through the Asian market, which they are with Hollywood, I think there's something there. But realistically, I think what we're all saying is, if Disney wants to succeed, they should just buy Big Bad Beetleborgs. I mean,
absolutely.
That is right for a reboot. And VR Troopers while we're at it. That one.
Oh, that was so good.
That was the one I picked to stand over Power Rangers when I was a dumb little kid, and oh boy, was I wrong.
I think over in Japan, they have, as Disney Super Sentai as it can get, is that there are Disney characters you can make into a Megazord.
Oh.
I mean, why Kingdom Hearts didn't do that, I'll never know.
Somebody just brought up Tron. What happened to Tron? What did happen to Tron?
It went, yeah.
They hurt me with Tron, because I like that second movie.
Same. Well, I guess that'll end it for the Disney Investors Talk and Future.